Welcome back to What's Now, turning our attention to your health and specifically weight loss. What do you need to know about certain surgeries, if this is an option or not? Well, I spoke with a physician recently all about this. Let's take a look.
While losing weight is quite difficult for many people, it is even more challenging to keep the weight off. By now, most have heard the numbers. 42% of Americans reported gaining an average of 29 pounds during the pandemic. But pre COVID studies are a reminder that too many of us were already losing, then regaining, then losing the war with our weight. Surgeon Dr. Vafa Shayani is here to offer hope to viewers all about losing weight and keeping it off. Thank you so much, Dr. Shayani, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So we hear a lot about healthy weight range. For those who don't know what exactly that means, can you explain it?
Absolutely. As healthcare professionals, we tend to use a measure known as body mass index or BMI, which refers to the relationship between an individual's weight and their height. A healthy BMI is somewhere between 20 and 25. By the time a person's BMI reaches 27 and higher, they would be referred to as overweight. A BMI of 30 and higher is considered obesity, and BMI of 35 and higher is morbid obesity. Now, we started using the phrase morbid obesity because right around that BMI is when individuals will start experiencing a whole lot of obesity-related health issues, such as diabetes, hypertension, sleep apnea, maybe arthritis. And it's around that BMI where patients should have a serious heart-to-heart with their doctors about their options for weight loss.
Anyone who has struggled with their weight is familiar with the term yo-yo dieting, but this method can be really harmful to our bodies. Tell me more about that.
Most definitely. Yo-yo dieting refers to the process where a person will commit themselves to a diet program. They started with a lot of excitement and motivation. They stick with it for a few days, maybe a few weeks. They lose a few good pounds, but then they realize that they're constantly feeling deprived. They're constantly fighting the urge to feed themselves. And ultimately, it becomes a difficult process for them to stick with long term. They fall off the wagon and they go back to their old habits. And going back to the old habits brings back those pounds that they lost, and often even more. This yo-yo dieting is not only not healthy for our bodies and for our organ systems, it's even more importantly not healthy for our state of mind. What happens is many of us feel this sense of terrible failure when we lose the weight, and in a short period of time we gain it back. And instead of going through that process again and again, maybe it's time for us to talk to our doctors about other options that are more successful for long-term weight management.
And when do you recommend these other methods such as surgery?
Well, I think there's nothing wrong with patients considering diet and exercise and maybe even one or two diet pills at some point if they have only about 10, 15, maybe 20 pounds to lose. By the time a person has 50 pounds, maybe 75 or 100 pounds to lose, it's going to be extremely difficult to accomplish that with diet and exercise alone. That's when patients need to educate themselves about their options. One great option is lap band surgery, an operation that has been around in the United States since 2001. Several hundreds of thousands of patients have undergone safe and effective lap band surgery. The operation is typically performed in an outpatient setting, and patients can get back to their normal routine within a couple of days. The operation helps patients with portion control while at the same time eliminating their hunger. And thankfully, most insurance companies in the United States do offer coverage for lap band surgery for appropriate patients.
There are also lifestyle habits that contribute to obesity. Tell me about those and how that can be a first step to eliminating this cycle.
Absolutely. Lifestyle modification is definitely a good place to start. We're talking about, for example, most of us learned during the pandemic that we could do most of our work by sitting at home behind our computers for 8 hours at a time. That sedentary lifestyle has resulted in significant weight gain among, as you said, up to 42% of our patients. Now, Some people have no choice. Their works require them to sit at a desk for 8 hours. What they can do is during the hours where they're not at work, they can be mindful and a lot more active, putting in about those 10,000 steps that we talk about. Another bad habit is consumption of large volumes of liquid calories. I'm talking about sugary beverages, high calorie coffee products, alcohol. Again, a lot of patients tell us that their problem is not calories from food, rather, it's what they do with beverages. And another habit that we need to manage better is combining food with other activities, such as allowing ourselves to eat while we're sitting at our desk doing work, or snacking while we're watching our favorite show at TV. All of those collectively results in a whole lot of added calories that translate ultimately to excess weight and obesity. Now, many people who have experienced weight loss and have managed to maintain that weight loss will tell us about two major good habits. One is good quality sleep, and another one is great support system at home that reinforces the good habits.
And where can we go for more information?
Great place to start is lapband.com. Patients can go on lapband.com, learn factual information about the operation, find out if they're a good candidate for the operation, and also find out what surgeons in their community offer the operation. Again, lapband.com, a great place to start.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Shayani, for joining us today. Really appreciate this important discussion about our health and weight. Thanks for your time.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.